I'm 104 years old, and I need to tell you something that will probably make you uncomfortable. The biggest mistake of my life wasn't something I did, it was what I didn't do. I spent 80 years avoiding hard conversations, and now I'm sitting alone in a house that's too quiet, with children who call once a month out of obligation, not love. And the worst part? I did this to myself, every single bit of it. You might be thinking, how does someone live to be 104 and still have regrets? Shouldn't I have figured everything out by now? That's exactly my point. Age doesn't bring wisdom automatically. I've met 20-year-olds with more emotional intelligence than I had at 60. Because wisdom isn't about how long you've lived. It's about how honestly you've lived. I retired at 65. Standard age. I had worked for 43 years at the same company, climbing from entry level to senior management. I was proud. I had provided for my family, put 3 kids through college, bought a nice house, did everything I was supposed to do. And when I walked out of that office on my last day, I thought I had won. I thought the hard part was over. What I didn't realize is that work had been my hiding place. For 4 decades, whenever things got difficult at home, whenever my wife tried to talk about something serious, whenever my kids needed more than just money from me, I had the perfect excuse. I'm tired. I have an early meeting. Work is stressful right now. Can we talk about this later? Later never came. My wife died when I was 78. We were married for 52 years. And you know what haunts me? We never had a single deep conversation about our marriage. Not one. We talked about bills, schedules, what to have for dinner, where to go on vacation, but we never talked about us, about what we felt, about what we needed from each other, about the distance that had grown between us over the years. I remember one night, maybe 10 years before she died, she said to me, "Do you ever think about what our life could have been?" And I knew what she meant. I knew she was opening a door to a conversation we should have had decades ago. But I was scared. Scared of what I might hear, scared of what I might have to admit. So I said, "We have a good life. Why think about what could have been?" And she just nodded and went back to her book. The door closed. It never opened again. She died without me ever telling her that I knew I had failed her, that I knew I had chosen comfort over connection, that I was sorry for all the conversations we never had. My children, I have 3 of them, a son who lives 2,000 miles away, a daughter who sends birthday cards but never visits, another daughter who I haven't seen in 6 years. They all have their reasons, their busy lives, their own families, their careers. But I know the real reason. I taught them that difficult conversations should be avoided. I taught them that feelings should be buried. I taught them that it's easier to keep your distance than to deal with discomfort. When my son was 16, he came to me and said he wanted to talk. I could see it in his eyes. It was important. Maybe he was struggling with something. Maybe he needed guidance. But I was watching the game, and I said, "Can it wait until halftime?" He said, "Sure." Halftime came and went. He never brought it up again. I never asked. That was 38 years ago. I still don't know what he wanted to say. My oldest daughter tried to tell me once that she was unhappy in her marriage. This was maybe 20 years ago. She started to cry at the dinner table, and I got uncomfortable. I didn't know what to do with tears. So I said, "I'm sure it will work itself out. These things usually do." She divorced 3 years later, she never tried to talk to me about it again. She stopped trying to talk to me about anything real. My youngest daughter is the one I haven't seen in 6 years. We had a disagreement. I don't even remember what it was about. Something small, something stupid. But instead of calling her, instead of apologizing, instead of having the hard conversation about why we both got so angry over something so trivial, I waited. I thought she would call. She thought I would call. Neither of us did. And now 6 years have passed, yeah, and the gap is so wide that I don't know how to cross it anymore. Here's what I've learned at 104 years old. Avoiding hard conversations doesn't make them go away. It makes them worse. Every conversation you avoid is like a small wound that never heals. And over time, those small wounds become infected. They grow, they spread, and eventually they destroy the relationship completely. You think you're protecting yourself by avoiding discomfort. You think you're keeping the peace. You think if you just don't bring it up, everything will be fine. But that's a lie. Things are not fine. They're dying slowly, and by the time you realize it, it's often too late. I see young people now in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and they're making the same mistakes I made. They're texting instead of calling. They're avoiding instead of confronting. They're hoping problems will solve themselves. They won't. Your parents, if they're still alive, there are probably things unsaid between you. Maybe they hurt you. Maybe you hurt them. Maybe there's just distance, and you're thinking you'll deal with it later. You'll have that conversation someday. Let me tell you something. Someday might never come. My father died when I was 41. We had a terrible relationship. He was cold, critical, hard to please, and I swore I wouldn't be like him, but I became exactly like him, and I never told him I understood him better as I got older. I never told him I forgave him. I never told him I loved him. He died thinking I resented him. Maybe I did, but I also loved him, and he never knew. Your partner, if you have one. Are there things you're not saying? Are there feelings you're burying? Are there problems you're pretending don't exist? Stop it. Stop it right now, because I promise you, those unsaid things will build up. They will create a wall between you, and one day you'll wake up and realize you're living with a stranger, someone you used to love but can no longer reach. Your children. If you have them, talk to them, really talk to them, not about homework or chores or what they want for dinner, about life, about feelings, about hard things. Teach them that difficult conversations are how you build real relationships. Teach them that discomfort is temporary, but regret is permanent. Your friends, the real ones, the ones you've known for years. When was the last time you had a real conversation with them? Not small talk, not surface level catching up, but real talk about fears, about struggles, about the things that keep you up at night. Those relationships need depth to survive. Without it, they fade away. I think about all the conversations I avoided, all the times I said later, or I don't want to talk about it, or let's not make a big deal out of this. And now I'm 104 years old, sitting in a house full of memories and regrets, wishing I could go back and just be brave enough to be uncomfortable for an hour, because that's all it takes. 1 hour of discomfort, one honest conversation, one moment of vulnerability, and it could change everything. It could save a relationship. It could heal a wound. It could build a bridge that lasts the rest of your life. But I didn't do it. I chose comfort over connection every single time, and now I have comfort. I have a quiet house. I have routines. I have peace, but I don't have my wife. I don't have real relationships with my children. I don't have anyone who really knows me. I pushed everyone away slowly, one avoided conversation at a time, and the terrible thing is, I didn't even realize I was doing it. I thought I was just keeping things smooth, just not rocking the boat, just maintaining peace. But there's a difference between peace and absence of conflict. Real peace comes from honesty, from working through hard things together, from having those difficult conversations and coming out stronger on the other side. The absence of conflict is just silence, and silence kills relationships. If I could go back and talk to my 30-year-old self, here's what I would say. Stop being a coward. Stop prioritizing your comfort over your relationships. Stop thinking that avoiding hard conversations is the same as keeping the peace. It's not. You're just delaying the inevitable collapse. Have the hard conversation. Tell your wife when you're unhappy. Ask her when she seems distant. Talk to your kids about real things. Tell your parents you love them while they can still hear it. Tell your friends what they mean to you. Apologize when you're wrong. Ask for forgiveness. Offer forgiveness. Be vulnerable. Be honest. Be brave. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, you might cry. Yes, you might hear things you don't want to hear. Yes, you might have to admit things you're ashamed of. But that discomfort lasts an hour, maybe a day, maybe a week. Regret lasts a lifetime. I'm 104 years old. I've outlived almost everyone I knew, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that the biggest regrets of your life will not be the hard conversations you had. They will be the ones you avoided. I never told my wife I knew our marriage could have been more. I never asked my son what he wanted to talk about that night. I never really listened to my daughter when she needed me. I never called my youngest daughter after our fight. And now they're all gone or distant, and I can't get those moments back. Time doesn't wait for you to be ready. People don't wait forever. Relationships have expiration dates if you don't maintain them. And maintenance means having the hard conversations. You have a choice right now. You can keep avoiding, keep pretending everything is fine, keep hoping problems will solve themselves, or you can be brave. You can pick up the phone. You can say we need to talk. You can open yourself up to discomfort because you understand that temporary discomfort is better than permanent regret. Don't wait until you're 104 years old sitting alone, wishing you had been braver. Don't wait until people are gone. Don't wait until relationships are too damaged to repair. Do it now, today, this week. Have the conversation you've been avoiding. Tell someone you love them. Tell someone you're sorry. Tell someone you need to talk. Ask someone how they're really doing. Be honest about your feelings. Be vulnerable about your fears. Be brave enough to risk discomfort for the sake of connection. Because I promise you, 104 years of life has taught me this. The conversations you avoid today become the regrets that haunt you tomorrow. And unlike me, you still have time. Use it.